This week, the army invades.
You stay in a military base, you have less than 3 hours to get out of this house.
Leaving broken noses and broken hearts.
Figure amasocha angena A7 angena enkombile ngezibhamu woyi7 ebathi phuma manje.
Your staff were caught on camera doing something they should not have been doing.
That's your version. But according to me, it's not that way. Actually, there's a violation of what now?
During the state of emergency in the 1980s, the South African Defence Force would routinely burst into people's homes and harass residents. Fortunately, those days are gone. Or are they? Kyla Herrmannsen and cameraman Tshepo Dhlamini report on events at a military base in Gauteng that had residents and the courts wondering what era we're living in.
The SADF played an active role in suppressing human rights during apartheid. Its transition to the SANDF, a peacekeeping force, in 1994 was widely welcomed. As a cost-cutting measure, operations at some military bases were scaled down, and over time, the housing facilities fell into disrepair. Civilians gradually moved into the dilapidated buildings. One of these bases was at Maryvale, near Nigel, on the far East Rand in Gauteng. Soldiers like Chris Koisiwe, who'd been assigned a house there, stayed on.
It was a 3-room house with a dining room and a kitchen and a toilet bathroom.
His old uniform, which he wore with pride, still fits him. But he grew disillusioned with army life and quit in 2007.
The army is actually an autocratic organization. Your rights are being controlled day by day by your commander. I felt that is not the life I can live forever.
He remained at Maryvale rent-free. The Army's Group 16 regiment had downscaled.
The way people actually that were working in Group 16 while the army was still operating, that were actually allowing people to come and apply for the houses inside Maryvale. And those people were offered houses and they were allowed to pay rent.
Civilians?
Yes. And then the reason thereof was that there were few soldiers around and the houses were abandoned.
Some soldiers began subletting to civilians for 250 rand a month. But then the army found out.
That's when now the military police intervened and said, no, this is wrong. You must no more pay until we give you a further notice. But the army never came back to the people. People have been saying to the army, we want to pay. Where is now the people that were taking money? And nobody responded.
With no further word from the military on the status quo of Maryvale, more civilians moved in. Like Funeka Gamere from KZN, who had relatives living on the base. That was in 2005.
Mina nifike kule ndlu bengihlala kuyona ebene electricity mara bongasana muntu phakathi kwaye bongasahlali kwamuntu.
Up until last year, around 600 people were living at Maryvale, all rent-free. Until the army came to reclaim the base after more than a decade. This is actual footage of them arriving on a wet day in November last year.
Figure amasocha angena A7 angena enkombile ngezibhamu woyi7 ebheke mina woyi7 bathi abanikeza i15 minutes nibendi out bona babamba amakhabethe so badonsa baphonsela phandle babamba amasofa baphonsela phandle basuka bahamba kwafika abanye makufika abanye bathi phuma manje imala ofika lo nomunye wathakhipha isibhamu waraha amafastela washaya amafastela akhahlelana ngonyawo ama-room ungenile kwi-room washaya i-dining room yonke.
Funeka and her children lost their home.
ngahamba ngaye estradweni mandifika estradweni ngazama iplastiki bandinikeza le plastiki emnyama le sazivala ngayo nabantwana salala estradweni ngihlale for 3 days estradweni nginganayo indawo yokuhlala bebendibuza ukuthi mama kanti sizohlala la estradweni sizohlala kuphi usisenza kanjani mama sizoya kuphi njengoba sihlela sesizohlala sihleli lana.
Cell phone footage filmed by evicted residents shows people's belongings dumped at the side of the road in the rain. A recently evicted couple is interviewed. Those who could scrape together money for rent moved to nearby Duduza and Tsakane. Funeka built a shack less than a kilometre from the base. It's called Happiness Village, but living here is far from joyous.
Makubuya imvula njengoba senihleli la lendlu le iyanetha lendlu lena yonke lento lendiyenzile la kumele ukuthi sihlangane embhedeni oyi1 because isona space esingathi at least imvula ayingeni khona manje silala embhedeni sithola ukuthi siba yi5 or siba yi6.
Even her new home was targeted by the army. She has no idea why they tore down an extension she had built on a concrete slab. Chris, who also moved to Happiness Village after being evicted, says even though they are now off the base, they're still being threatened.
Coming in the middle of the night with all their vehicles, flashlights all over the place, people running all over the place. You know, it was a situation like we are in a war zone.
Armoured vehicles called Mambas stand guard outside Maryvale.
Bayaziwa bahleli bephethe lezibhamu bafika lana bahleli bakhombile ngezibhamu abantwana bayakhala nathi sihlangana one side asazi kumele senzeni.
This is the side of the pipe that was actually given. You can see
Chris was once a staff sergeant in the engineering corps. He rigged up a water system at Happiness Village for everyone to use, but says soldiers ripped the pipes up.
So they pushed the gate and I just stand back and they got in through there. Then the two of them with rifles stand behind me and they went there. The other one came with the toolbox. He put a toolbox here and then started putting out the pipe.
He says they'd known since 2009 that the army wanted them off the base. They'd sent them eviction letters, but the Human Rights Commission had intervened and the army had backed off.
And they further continued saying, if we evict people in Maryvale, we'll make sure that we follow the rule of the law, meaning that we're going to get a court order and give it to the people. So then we continue staying without any other threat.
When soldiers arrived to evict residents last year, Chris reminded them that they were abusing their power.
We were taught that as a soldier, you must deny to execute an obvious illegal order. And then, according to my understanding, you know what is the Constitution detailing. And you can't be telling me that you're coming to evict people and you don't have a court order in your hand. He said, no, we're not working with a court order. And these people were told that they must leave, they don't want to.
Next up.
I'll eat. Take out your stuff. I'm not saying anything anymore. Why are we waiting?
Come on,
Attitude, your attitude, guys, sucks.